Today, we uncover the shocking truth about the juice being sold in UK supermarkets. Now, some of you might remember a story that made national headlines years ago about a drink sold right here in British supermarkets that turned a 3-year-old child's skin bright orange. And there's a brand that spent decades telling parents their product was packed with 4 times the vitamin C of oranges, only for it to be proven in a court of law that it had none. Zero. Undetectable. Not low. None. Well, if you were hoping things had improved since then, we've got some bad news for you. These companies haven't cleaned up their act. If anything, they've got worse. There's a juice that contains more sugar than the same volume of Coca-Cola, and it's been marketing itself as the healthy, ethical, natural alternative the whole time. There's an orange juice sitting in the chilled section right now with a picture of a fresh orange on the front that was actually squeezed up to a year ago, stored in a 1-million-gallon tank, stripped of all its natural flavor, and then had that flavor rebuilt by the same perfume chemists who designed fragrances for Dior and Calvin Klein. There's a children's lunchbox drink, one that millions of British parents put in school bags every single morning, thinking they're doing the right thing, that was found to contain the sugar equivalent of 5 teaspoons in a single tiny pouch. Tesco eventually had to step in and force them to change it, not the company's conscience, a supermarket ultimatum. And there's a brand on this list that issued a safety recall in 2024 because bottles labeled "no added sugar" actually contain sugar, which for someone with diabetes isn't a labeling quirk. It's a genuine health risk. This isn't one rogue brand having a bad year. This is the British juice aisle in 2026. And it's been like this for decades. The companies selling these products are counting on one thing above everything else. But you trust the label on the front and never read what's on the back. They spend enormous sums making their products look wholesome, natural, and trustworthy. The imagery of orchards and sunshine and fresh fruit dripping with juice. The words like pure and pressed and raw and natural. All of it carefully constructed to make you feel good about reaching for the bottle without ever asking what's actually inside it. So we've gone through the major juice brands currently sold in UK supermarkets, and we'll expose the 9 products you need to avoid. Then we'll tell you the ones that are actually still worth buying. But before we get into it, if you want to help push back against the companies that have been treating British shoppers like this, the single most powerful thing you can do right now is hit the hype button on this video. When you hype a video on YouTube, it doesn't just support the creator. It tells the platform that this information matters, that people want to see it, and that it deserves to be shown to more people. Every single hype genuinely counts. These corporations have enormous marketing budgets, and they spend them making sure their products look trustworthy and wholesome on your screen. They pay for shelf placement, for advertising space, for the exact positioning in the chill aisle that makes you reach for their product out of habit without thinking. The only way content like this reaches the people who need to see it is if you actively push it forward. So if you think British families deserve honest information about what they're drinking, hit that hype button right now. And while you're there, subscribe, because we're going to keep doing exactly this, going through the products on your shelves, one by one, and telling you the truth about what's actually inside them. And let's get into it. Number 9, Tropicana, not from concentrate orange juice. Tropicana is Britain's most recognized orange juice brand. The carton with the orange pierced by a straw. The promise of pure, fresh juice. Nothing added, nothing taken away. It costs more than almost every other orange juice in the supermarket, and that premium price is the whole point. It's supposed to signal quality. It's supposed to tell you that what's inside is closer to the fruit. When Tropicana briefly tried to redesign their packaging in 2011 and remove the iconic orange with the straw in favor of cleaner, more minimal branding, sales collapsed so catastrophically within weeks that they reversed the decision almost immediately. The lesson the company took from that was clear. The image of the orange in the straw isn't just branding, it's the entire reason people buy the product. Take away the imagery of freshness, and there's nothing left to sell. Here's what actually happens to your Tropicana before it reaches your glass. After the oranges are squeezed, the juice goes into enormous storage tanks where all the oxygen is removed. This process, called deaeration, is what stops the juice from spoiling for months at a time, sometimes up to a year. The problem is that removing the oxygen also removes every volatile compound that makes orange juice taste like oranges. What's left essentially just tastes like the void, a flavorless orange liquid that has no more in common with a freshly squeezed orange than tap water does. So to put some zing back into this nothing liquid, Tropicana brings in specialist flavor companies to engineer what the industry calls flavor packs. Blends of orange-derived chemicals designed in a laboratory added back into the juice before bottling. What Tropicana is selling you is essentially a Frankenstein of a drink cobbled together in a lab to give you the idea of what an orange might taste like. These flavor packs don't appear on the label because legally they're considered derived from oranges, even though they've been through a level of processing that the average shopper would not recognize as natural. The same companies that formulate perfumes for Dior and Calvin Klein are the ones rebuilding the taste of your morning orange juice. Here's the thing that proves it. Tropicana tastes exactly the same in January as it does in July. It tastes the same whether the oranges came from Florida or Brazil. It tastes identical in every supermarket, in every city, every single year. That's not how fruit works. Fruit varies by season, by soil, by rainfall, by the month it was picked. The only reason a juice can taste perfectly consistent all year round is because its flavor is being engineered to hit a target. And here's something that will stop you mid-glass, the next time you pour one. Because all the fiber has been removed during processing, commercial orange juice spikes your blood sugar faster than Coca-Cola does. That's not a health scare headline. It's the reason why when a diabetic's blood sugar crashes dangerously, doctors and paramedics reach for orange juice before they reach for Coke. It's the fastest sugar delivery system available. The fiber that slows that sugar rush down is sitting in a factory somewhere, separated out during processing because smooth, standardized juice is what they want to sell. In 2021, PepsiCo sold Tropicana to private equity firm PI Partners. Then in 2024, Tropicana quietly shrank their bottles from 52 ounces to 46 ounces while keeping the price exactly the same. By October of that year, sales had fallen 19%. The brand lost 4 percentage points of market share in under 6 months from a single packaging change. When customers felt lied to, they left immediately. And the thing is, they'd been lied to long before the bottles got smaller. The shrinkflation just made it visible enough to notice. Number 8. Rihanna Black Currant Juice Drink. Ribena's story begins in 1942. During the Second World War, German submarine attacks made it nearly import citrus fruit into Britain. The government needed a domestic source of vitamin C for children, and they found it in British black currants. Ribena was distributed free of charge to children under 2 years old as a vitamin supplement. That wartime origin became the foundation of everything Rihanna marketed itself on for the next 80 years. The vitamin C drink, the one the government trusted, the one with 4 times the vitamin C of oranges. In 2004, 2 14-year-old schoolgirls in New Zealand named Jenny Suo and Anna Devatasan decided to use Ribena as their benchmark healthy drink for a school science project. When they tested the ready-to-drink Ribena bought, they found it had undetectable levels of vitamin C, not reduced, not lower than claimed, undetectable. They contacted GlaxoSmithKline, the pharmaceutical giant that owned Rihanna at the time, a company with £61 billion in annual turnover. GSK essentially ignored them. They went to the Advertising Standards Authority, ignored again. A television consumer show eventually picked up the story, and in 2007, GSK was taken to the Oakland District Court on 15 charges. They pleaded guilty to all of them. They were fined the equivalent of over £300,000 in today's money and ordered to run corrective advertisements admitting the claims were false. The reason the vitamin C had disappeared is chemistry. The pasteurization and concentration process that commercial juice goes through destroys vitamin C because vitamin C is extremely heat-sensitive and unstable. It degrades rapidly when exposed to heat, light, and oxygen. Ribena knew this. The processing they used to make the products shelf-stable was the same processing that removed the very nutrient they'd been advertising for decades. They just kept advertising it anyway. A separate investigation found that the black currant juice in the ready-to-drink product only constituted 5% of the total contents. GSK sold Rihanna to Santori in 2013 for $1.35 billion. Then in 2018, Santori quietly reformulated the entire Rihanna recipe in the UK, replacing sugar with artificial sweeteners in response to the government's sugar tax. No announcement, no apology to the British families who'd spent decades buying it on the basis of a vitamin C story that had already been prosecuted as misleading in a court of law. And Tesco had delisted Rihanna from their children's juice range back in 2015, specifically because of its sugar content. A brand built on being a wartime health supplement, caught with no detectable vitamin C, sold for over £1 billion, and reformulated with sweeteners without a word. That's the full arc of Ribena. Number 7. Innocent Smoothies and Juice. Innocent was founded in 1999 by 3 Cambridge graduates who set up a stall at a music festival, asked customers to put their empty bottles in a yes or no bin to decide whether they should quit their jobs to make smoothies, and resign the next morning when the yes bin was full. For a decade after that, Innocent built one of the most beloved brand stories in British food history. Natural, pure, ethical, the kind of company you felt good about buying from. The quirky fonts, the messages printed on the side of the bottle, the knitted hats on the lids for charity. It was a brand that made you feel like buying a smoothie was a small act of goodness. In April 2009, Innocent sold a stake to the Coca-Cola Company for $30 million. By 2013, Coca-Cola owned over 90% of Innocent. That is not a matter of opinion or interpretation. It's a corporate fact. The brand that positioned itself as the alternative to big food is owned by the biggest drinks company on earth. A corporation that produces around 3 million tons of plastic packaging every year, roughly 200,000 plastic bottles every single minute, and has been named the world's #1 plastic polluter, multiple years running by the Break Free from Plastic campaign. And then there's the sugar. A 250 milliliter bottle of Innocent smoothie contains 34.3 grams of sugar. A 250 milliliter serving of Coca-Cola, a product that has never once claimed to be healthy, contains 33 grams. An Innocent smoothie contains more sugar than the same volume of Coke. The same Coke that Innocent's entire brand identity was built in opposition to when 3 idealistic Cambridge graduates put those yes and no bins out at a music festival in 1999. In 2021, Innocent ran a television campaign called Little Drinks, Big Dreams, which showed a damaged planet being fixed up as people bought Innocent smoothies. The UK's Advertising Standards Authority investigated and banned the adverts, ruling they were misleading because purchasing Innocent products does not have a net positive environmental impact. Innocent expressed disappointment with the ruling. Ethical Consumer magazine subsequently gave Innocent a score of 2 out of 20 for ethical and sustainable practices. 2 out of 20. From the brand with the daisies and the hand-drawn fonts and the message about fixing up the planet. Number 6. Capri Sun Orange. Every school day in Britain, millions of children take a Capri Sun pouch in their lunchbox. and millions of parents believe they're giving their child a fruit drink. The little silver pouch with the straw has been in British lunchboxes since the 1980s, and the branding has always done exactly the same job. Sun, fruit, children playing, the word juice. It looks like it belongs next to actual juice. It's designed to. Capri Sun Orange is not juice. It's a juice drink, which in UK labeling law is a specific and very different category. The fruit juice content of the original Capri Sun pouch was approximately 10 to 12%. The rest was water, sugar, and flavorings. In 2015, the campaign group Action on Sugar named and shamed Capri Sun specifically for containing the equivalent of 5 teaspoons of sugar in a single 200 ml pouch. 5 teaspoons of sugar in a drink the size of a small cup. Marketed to children in a portion size designed for a child's lunchbox, that 5 teaspoon figure represents nearly a quarter of an adult's entire recommended daily sugar intake in a single drink designed for a small child. That same year, Tesco CEO Dave Lewis made a public commitment to remove all added sugar children's drinks from the children's section of Tesco stores. Capri Sun was delisted. Faced with losing one of Britain's biggest supermarkets entirely, Capri Sun reformulated their UK product with stevia, bringing the sugar content down from 10.2 grams per 100 ml to 4.4 grams. The product in British lunchboxes today is better than it was, but it only changed because a supermarket threatened to remove it from the shelves, not because Capri Sun decided independently to stop giving British children 5 teaspoons of sugar in a lunchbox drink. And in 2022, Capri Sun recalled thousands of cases across Europe after a cleaning solution leaked into the juice pouches during production. The opaque silver packaging means you cannot see inside before you drink it. You have no way of knowing what's in there until it's already in your mouth. That recall happened because of a manufacturing contamination. The original sugar problem happened because no one forced them to stop. Number 5. Rubicon Still Mango Juice Drink. Rubicon is the exotic one. Every British supermarket stocks it. The mango, the passion fruit, the pomegranate, the vivid colors, the premium positioning next to the more ordinary orange and apple options. Everything about the way Rubicon presents itself implies that you're getting something richer and more natural than what's around it. Something closer to the actual tropical fruit printed on the front in large, lush, appetizing detail. A 330 ml can of Rubicon mango juice drink contains approximately 33 grams of sugar that is directly comparable to the same volume of full sugar cola. The mango content is around 12 to 20% depending on the variant. The rest is water and sugar. The word juice is prominent on the packaging. The word drink appears next to it in considerably smaller print. In UK law, a juice drink can legally contain as little as 6% actual fruit juice and still use that description. The legal distinction between juice and juice drink is one of the most consequential and least understood pieces of food labeling law in Britain. And it's the gap that allows a product with cola-level sugar content and a fraction of actual fruit to sit on the same shelf as real pressed juice at a similar price point, looking superficially identical to someone making a fast decision in a supermarket aisle. Rubicon was founded in 1982 to bring tropical flavors to British communities with South Asian heritage. And that founding purpose was genuinely community-rooted. But what's in the can today is a long way from what the tropical imagery promises. And the packaging is specifically designed to make sure most people don't stop long enough to notice. Number 4. Ocean Spray Cranberry Classic. Cranberry juice has one of the strongest health reputations of any fruit drink in Britain. Antioxidants, urinary tract health, natural goodness. Ocean Spray has built an enormous global brand on the back of that reputation, with imagery of fresh cranberry bogs and farmers wading through harvest and a heritage agricultural story that makes the whole thing feel wholesome and rooted in nature. The product most British shoppers actually reach for is Ocean Spray Cranberry Classic. It's not cranberry juice. It's a cranberry juice drink. The ingredients start with water. Cranberry juice from concentrate comes in at 27%, then sugar, then pectin, then sweeteners. Over 70% of what you're drinking is water and additives. Here's the part that makes this particularly sharp. Pure, undiluted cranberry juice is extremely tart, almost undrinkable for most people without significant sweetening. Ocean Spray knows this because it's the fundamental commercial reality of the cranberry. So they found the exact ratio of dilution and sugar that makes cranberries taste pleasant and palatable. And they sell that formula at a premium price built entirely on cranberry's health reputation. The studies that link cranberry juice to urinary tract health benefits specifically reference low sugar, high concentration formulations, not the sweetened, heavily diluted cocktail that accounts for the vast majority of Ocean Spray's UK sales. The health story is real. Whether this particular product delivers it is a different question entirely. You're paying for the reputation of the cranberry. What's in the bottle is 27% cranberry and 73% everything else. Number 3, Tropicana Fresh and Light Tropical. This one is a masterclass in label misdirection. Tropicana, as a name, already carries a premium aura. The word tropical conjures pineapple, mango, passion fruit, papaya, fresh and light, sounds clean and modern and health conscious. Everything about this product, the name, the branding, the Tropicana logo says premium tropical juice. So look at the actual ingredients. 44% apple juice from concentrate, 32% water, then much smaller amounts of mandarin, pineapple, passion fruit, and mango to justify the tropical name on the front. 76% of this product is apple juice concentrate and water before a single exotic tropical fruit appears. Apple juice is the cheapest, most widely available juice base on the market. It's what manufacturers use to bulk out products containing more expensive sounding fruit. It's sweet. It's bland enough not to overpower other flavors, and it's cheap to source in enormous quantities. When a product called tropical costs a premium Tropicana price and is 44% apple and 32% water, that's not a premium tropical juice. That's diluted apple juice with a tropical flavor story and a Tropicana logo wrapped around it. The word light doesn't mean healthier here either. It means the product has been diluted further with water than the standard version. You're not getting something cleaner or more nutritious. You're getting less juice for the same money. And this is the same brand we've already covered in this video, which means you're paying a premium twice over. Once for the Tropicana name, and once for a tropical promise that the ingredients list makes very difficult to justify. Number 2, pomegranate juice drink. Pomegranate became a genuine wellness phenomenon in the 2000s. The antioxidants, the polyphenols, the deep red color, the peer-reviewed research into heart health and blood pressure. If you were designing a fruit specifically to appeal to health-conscious shoppers, you designed something very close to a pomegranate. Pomegranate built its entire identity around exactly that appeal. The name, the dark, rich packaging, the premium price point, all of it signals this is the serious health drink for people who take what they put in their body seriously. Pomegranate is a juice drink. The ingredients list starts with water. Pomegranate juice from concentrate comes in at 20%. Aronia juice at 4%, then flavorings and sucralose. 80% of what's in that bottle is water and sweeteners. You're paying a superfood premium for a product that is 1/5 pomegranate at most. The documented health benefits of pomegranate juice, the ones that appear in actual research, relate specifically to the polyphenol content of genuine pomegranate juice consumed in meaningful quantities. When you dilute pomegranate to 20% and then add water and artificial sweeteners, you're not delivering a meaningful dose of those polyphenols. The health reputation of pomegranate is completely real and well supported by science. What Pomgrade is selling you is a very small amount of that pomegranate, a lot of water, and an enormous amount of brand story built around a health image. The product can't genuinely back up at this concentration. Real pomegranate juice is expensive to produce because pomegranates are labor-intensive to press, and the yield is relatively low. That's why the real thing costs significantly more than a bottle of Pomgrade. If a pomegranate juice drink costs the same as a bottle of apple juice, there's a reason for that. And the reason is that it's mostly water. Number 1. Vimetto No Added Sugar Squash. Vimetto was invented in 1908 in Manchester by a man called John Noel Nichols, who was a wholesaler of herbs, spices, and medicines. He originally sold it under the name Vim Tonic, Vim meaning vigor. It was registered not as a soft drink, but as a medicine, a health tonic built on natural fruit and botanical extracts designed to restore energy and well-being. That origin story is genuinely remarkable. Vimetto didn't start as a squash, it started as medicine. Now look at what's in today's no added sugar Vimetto. Water mixed fruit juices from concentrate at 10%, citric acid, malic acid, the Vimetto flavoring, which is a guarded trade secret, so you'll never know exactly what's in it. 2 artificial sweeteners, sucralose and acesulfame K. 2 preservatives, potassium sulfate and sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate is a preservative worth knowing about. When sodium benzoate comes into contact with vitamin C in an acidic drink, the 2 compounds can react to form benzene, which is a substance with well-documented concerns for long-term health. The Food Standards Agency has previously acknowledged this reaction and recommended manufacturers reformulate products where both ingredients are present together. Vimetto contains both. And then there's the children's range. The Vimetto Kids Tropical Juice Drink, the one marketed at children with bright colors and a fun image, contains just 5% actual fruit juice. 5%. And its ingredients include stabilizers made from coconut oil and rapeseed oil. Oil in a children's juice drink marketed as a fruity refreshment. And the no added sugar label that Vimetto uses throughout its range is doing a lot of heavy lifting, considering the product was literally reformulated in 2014 to include acesulfame K and sucralose after they removed the sugar. They didn't make it healthier, they swapped one set of questions for another. But the detail that lands Vimetto at number 1 is this. In April 2024, Nichols plc issued a recall of 500 milliliters Vimto bottles because of a packaging error. The bottles were clearly labeled as no added sugar. They actually contain sugar. For a diabetic or someone managing an insulin condition, or a parent giving their child what they believe is a sugar-free drink, picking up a bottle labeled no added sugar that actually contains sugar isn't a minor inconvenience. That label is the reason they chose that specific product. The recall happened. The mislabeled bottles went out. And this is the brand that started as a medicine in 1908. A health product with a safety recall in 2024 for mislabeling the very thing the health-conscious shopper was relying on to make the right choice. Now, after sitting through all that, you deserve some good news. Because if you're looking at your morning glass right now and wondering if you should just drink tap water instead, don't worry, I'm not here to leave you hanging. The goal of all this digging isn't just to make you paranoid about the contents of your fridge. It's to force these corporations to do better by rewarding the ones that aren't treating you like a walking wallet. And the fact is, the pure, high-quality, honest juice that all those big marketing campaigns are trying to mimic, it does actually exist. You can buy it right here in the UK. The difference is, the companies making it spend their money on actual fruit, not on sophisticated flavor labs or rebranding strategies to hide who owns them. But before we look at the specific bottles you should be reaching for, you need to understand the fundamental difference that sets them apart from the industry average. It's a method known in the business as cold pressing, or more technically, high-pressure processing, HPP. Most of the juices we exposed earlier rely on heat pasteurization, boiling the juice at high temperatures to kill bacteria so it can sit on a shelf or in a million-gallon tank for a year without turning into a science project. That heat also kills the taste, the color, and the nutrients. The good juices don't use heat. They create the juice by essentially crushing the fruit, the cold press part, and then they subject the final bottle to immense water pressure, equal to the pressure at the deepest part of the ocean. This process inactivates any harmful bacteria or yeast, extending the shelf life safely, but it preserves the vitamins, the raw flavor, and the vibrant color without turning the juice into dead liquid that needs artificial engineering to become drinkable again. When you find one of these, you're not drinking a lab experiment, you're drinking fruit. Here are the ones doing it right. First up, a company called Cost and Press. Their history is genuinely rooted in actual agriculture. They started in 1986 as an organic apple juice press using fruit from regional orchards. Their mission was born from a frustration that most juice was from concentrate, stripped of its character and loaded with water. Their cloudy apple juice is exactly what most people think they're buying when they pick up a generic carton. Here's the ingredient list: 100% pressed apple juice and ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C used solely as an antioxidant to prevent browning. That's it. It's never from concentrate. No added sugar, no stabilizers, no chemicals from the perfume aisle. When they do a blend, like their rhubarb, it's just the pressed apple base mixed with pressed rhubarb juice. Cost and Press still uses heat pasteurization, so it doesn't have that raw, cold-pressed profile, but they are incredibly transparent, relying on the actual taste of specific apple varieties to create their flavor, rather than an artificial consistency standard. You can find their range across most major UK retailers like Tesco, Sainsbury's, and Waitrose, and it's priced competitively, usually between £2 and £3 for a large carton. It's a mass market value product that refuses to play the industry deception game, proving you can produce honest, quality juice at scale without treating the consumer like an idiot. It tastes slightly different batch to batch because the fruit changes with the season, which, as I've said, is the proof of authenticity, not a flaw to be corrected in a lab. Next, we have Waitrose and Partners. While most own-brand products are just cheaper versions of the mass-market brands, Waitrose's premium juice range is a massive outlier. Look for their #1 freshly squeezed orange juice. This is the definition of simple. It's unpasteurized in 100% orange juice. They squeeze the oranges and put it in a bottle. Nothing added, nothing taken away. Because it's unpasteurized and unengineered, it doesn't have the oxygen-stripped, volatile-free shelf life of Tropicana. It has to stay refrigerated, and you're looking at a shelf life measured in days, not months. The cost is slightly higher than the Tropicana you've been buying, but when you consider that a big chunk of that Tropicana price tag goes toward maintaining their massive de-aeration tanks and paying their private equity owners, while the Waitrose price tag reflects the actual oranges, the calculation changes completely. You're not paying a premium for a label. You're paying for a product that hasn't been industrially manipulated. They also offer the raw, unpasteurized option in their Leckford Estate range, which uses specific apple varieties grown on their own farm in Hampshire. It's local, it's raw, and it's transparent. Waitrose also does something quite brilliant in some of their larger stores. They have actual orange juice machines where you pick your own empty bottle, put it under the dispenser, and the machine presses the whole fruit right in front of you. That juice is as close to fresh squeezed as it is legally possible to get in a retail environment. The short shelf life is the entire point. It hasn't been pasteurized. It hasn't been optimized for supply chain efficiency, and it doesn't need to be engineered back to life. Third on the list is a newer brand, Mockingbird Raw Press. This company was launched explicitly in opposition to the big, sterile smoothies dominating the chilled aisle. They are now the fastest-growing smoothie brand in the UK, and according to data from Tesco, 80% of their buyers were completely new to the category, which means people who had sworn off big brand smoothies because they were sick of the pasteurized taste and the opaque ownership. Mockingbird only uses the HPP, high-pressure process I mentioned. They take the raw, cold-pressed juice and blast it with ocean-depth water pressure to keep it safe. Their ingredient labels are the cleanest in the entire chilled section. They often include percentages, so you know exactly how much kiwi or mango or ginger you're getting in every bottle. No concentrate, no stabilizers, no added preservatives, and no artificial sweeteners. And the color is so vibrant, it almost looks fake until you understand that heat pasteurization is what turns everything brown. They are a B Corp certified company, meaning they have to meet high standards for social and environmental performance. Their pricing is a step up from Coston or private label, often around £4 for a standard bottle, but you are paying for an entirely different product. You're not just buying a drink, you're funding a business model that is a direct alternative to the corporate pollution and secrecy we exposed earlier. Finally, for the parents whose children want a juice drink, not a full juice, look at Pip Organic. They are a smaller, independent UK company producing organic, never from concentrate drinks specifically designed for families. When the label says apple juice for their pouches, the ingredient list is 100% organic cold-pressed apple juice. That's the end of the list. They don't use concentrate bulking, they don't water it down with 70% tap water, and they don't add preservatives so it can sit in a warehouse for a year. You are giving your child actual organic fruit juice that has been lightly pasteurized for safety. The PIP logo on the pouch signal a massive commitment to both quality and sustainability, but not the greenwashing kind from the brands owned by giant drinks conglomerates. PIP uses only organic fruit, meaning it's grown without harsh pesticides, and they actively work to make all their packaging sustainable. Their fruity water drinks use organic fruit and only organic juices for flavor, no flavorings from a lab. Yes, the price is higher than a 5-teaspoon Capri Sun, and the pouches might not last as long, but you're not paying the manufacturer to turn cheap ingredients into an engineered product. You're paying for actual fruit and peace of mind. They are stocked in Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Ocado, and sometimes in select Tesco's. It's an easy, direct replacement in the lunchbox that instantly upgrades what your kids are drinking from sugar water to actual nutrition. So, you're equipped. You know which bottles are essentially just expensive, colorful lies, and you know the handful that are actually still worth your hard-earned pounds. But I get it. You're standing in the supermarket, you're in a rush, you're trying to remember that one brand I mentioned, and the toddler in the trolley is making accurate label analysis pretty difficult. Here is how to navigate that aisle without getting conned, every single time. Here are the concrete rules you need to burn into your brain, the stuff that belongs on a mental screenshot before you reach for a bottle in Sainsbury's or Tesco. First, and this is the easiest visual cue, look at where it is in the store. If a fruit juice is sitting on an ambient, unrefrigerated shelf next to the tinned beans, and the best before date is sometime next year, back away slowly. Real, nutritious juice is alive. It spoils. The entire reason it's able to sit there for 6 months at lukewarm temperature is that every enzyme and nutrient that made it worth drinking in the first place has been pasteurized out of existence, or it's been pumped so full of chemical preservatives that not even bacteria want to eat it. You are buying expensive, sterile fruit water that only tastes like fruit because a chemist in Switzerland made it so. Stop doing that. Second, when you move to the chilled section, you have a better chance. But don't lower your guard. Your new best friend is the phrase cold pressed or raw press. As we covered, this means the juice was made using immense pressure rather than intense heat. The color is vivid, the taste is raw, and the nutrients remain intact. If it has that, and it is certified organic, you're on the right track. If it doesn't say cold pressed or HPP, high pressure processing, assume it's been heat pasteurized, which is better than ambient dead, but still a compromised product. Third, look at the ingredients list immediately and look for the length of that list. If the main ingredient is water or juice from concentrate, and then you see a long list of stabilized oils, gums, artificial sweeteners like sucralose or acesulfame K, and preservatives, it is not juice. It is a fruit-flavored soft drink masquerading as a health product. In UK labeling law, a product must be 100% juice to be called fruit juice. If it says fruit juice drink, the manufacturer has watered it down, usually significantly, and added all that other junk to make it palatable. They are charging you a premium for tap water and lab chemicals. Fourth, you have to read the ingredient words very carefully because they are designed to trick you. If you see added vitamin C or ascorbic acid plastered on the front like it's some kind of benefit, that is a warning sign. Natural vitamin C is unstable and is destroyed by heat pasteurization. When you see a label bragging about being packed with vitamin C, it usually means the pasteurization process destroyed the natural stuff, and the manufacturer had to buy a synthetic powder from a warehouse and sprinkle it back in before bottling so they wouldn't get in trouble. It's also often used as a stabilizer. Real juice already has vitamin C. It shouldn't need advertising. Fifth, embrace the variation. The only reason a juice tastes mathematically identical every single day of the year is that its flavor was engineered. Real fruit changes batch to batch. Real oranges vary. Real apple varieties vary. A juice that has slight, natural taste differences is a juice that hasn't been industrially manipulated to hit a flavor standard. Trust the variability, distrust the perfect consistency. And finally, if your supermarket, especially larger branches of Tesco or Waitrose, has one of those orange juice machines where you press the button and it squeezes the fruit into a plastic bottle right in front of your eyes, use it. That is as raw, unaltered, and unpasteurized as you can possibly get outside of doing it in your own kitchen. The shelf life is practically minutes, but that's the point. It's real food, not a product optimized for a complex supply chain. You now know how the British juice aisle is actually wired. This whole industry isn't focused on your hydration or your nutritional intake. It is a profit machine designed to extend shelf stability, minimize raw ingredient costs, and use emotionally manipulative marketing to keep you reaching for that bottle out of habit. These companies count on the fact that you trust the words on the front and never, ever read the words on the back. They want you busy, conned by the imagery of fresh fruit, and ignorant of the million-gallon tanks and the perfume chemists. The single mindset shift you need to stop being their prey is to stop reading the front of the label entirely. Treat the orchard imagery as a lie. Treat the word natural as a legal loophole, and the word pure as corporate sarcasm. Your only truth is the back of the bottle. If the backlist is short, understandable, and says 100% pressed juice, you're okay. If the backlist is long and chemical and waters down that fruit with concentrate bulking, you are being treated like walking profit margin. You know someone right now, a parent putting 5 teaspoons of sugar in a school bag, thinking they're doing the right thing, or a diabetic trusting a label that could put them in the hospital. This isn't just about fruit. It is about corporate transparency and consumer health. If you think the truth about what British families are drinking needs to reach more people, and if you want to help fight back against the multi-million-pound marketing budgets trying to bury this information, Hit that hype button right now. Leave a comment below telling us which product's flavor pack origin shocked you the most. And definitely let us know what UK supermarket staple we should investigate and expose next. Subscribe and protect your plate. Until next time.